The green is continuing, guys. We had another great day in the stock market today. We had the S&P up 0.3%. We had the Dow up 0.1%. We had the Russell up a whopping 0.8%. And the NASDAQ 100 went up 0.4%. So today, you guys know the drill. We're going to break down some stocks, some charts, my thoughts on the markets, plus more. So sit back, relax, hit the like button, subscribe, check out my Patreon if you guys want all my moves in the markets. And you all could also get $50 free from M1 Finance and 2 stocks from Webull up to $1,600. All of that is linked right down below. And with that being said, let's get the party started. So what really stood out to me today was the fact that the VIX, the volatility, the fear index, ended up getting clobbered. It went down about 9% and it closed under that critical level that I've been talking about for a couple of videos here, a couple of days, and that is 20 points. If I show you guys the VIX and the pattern that we've seen over the past couple of months, you'll notice how significant this really is. And let me get this clear. Let me get this straight with you guys right off the bat. Just because the VIX has died down every time we've collapsed under 20 over the past couple of months doesn't mean it's going to happen again. But hypothetically, if history repeats itself, the fact that now we're collapsing under 20 on the VIX, volatility is going to continue dying down, and we're probably going to be going down to about 14, 15, maybe 16 points on the VIX. I mean, look at what happened the past couple of months. Every time we've seen heightened volatility, the VIX has gone 25, 30 points, give or take. And each time it's died down, the VIX has gone back to 14, 15, 16. I mean, this has happened many times over 2021. Back in May, you guys can see it. We hit about 28 on the VIX. It went down to about 15 shortly after. You know, we can see it in July. We can see it in August. We can see it in September, October. Each time we've hit 23, 25, 27 on the VIX. We just hit 35. Very high point on the VIX here, at least, you know, over the past couple of months. Each time we've done that, the VIX has collapsed. So at this point, the VIX is collapsing again. We close under 20. And again, just because this is happening doesn't necessarily mean that history is going to repeat itself. We're going back to 14, 15 on the VIX, but it's worth watching. It's worth, you know, keeping your eyes on. No doubt about it. That's what I'm personally doing, at least, right? And this is my YouTube channel, right? So I'm sharing it with you guys. So I'm watching the VIX, and I'm noticing all of the indexes, at least the ones I track here, you know, the Russell, NASDAQ, the Dow, S&P, all of them look pretty bullish. You know, if we pull up SPY, we're noticing a breakout above both moving averages on the 4-hour chart. We're pretty much right at the 470 resistance that we got rejected at back in the end of November, which I believe if we break 470, we're probably going to go to all-time highs or at least fill the gap to all-time highs at about 473.50. And it's the same thing with Triple Q, right? Triple Q is above both moving averages, but it is struggling at about 400, 401. We're seeing some resistance there, consolidation, whatever you want to call it. And that's why I have my alert there, because I think if Triple Q breaks 401, it's going to fill the gap to 408. It's a stone's throw away from that, 7 points away, which is about 1.82%, which you guys know with how the Triple Q moves with these tech stocks, that could happen in a day. We could hit 2% green day in a day, and before we know it, we'll be right back at all-time highs. So by the looks of it, guys, as of now, the markets are very bullish, right? Very bullish. And as always, things are subject to change, but as of now, VIX is dying down. We're breaking out above the moving averages, so get ready for more upside. That's kind of what I'm seeing here, and could I be wrong? Absolutely, guys. I am not some wizard that knows everything. You know, I've been wrong in the past, but what the charts are telling me here is more upside. Plain and simple. So what do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. I'd love to know, as always. Make sure to hit the like button as well and subscribe if you haven't done so already. It really helps me out overall in the YouTube algorithm. And with that being said, let's get to the meat and potatoes, guys. Let's talk about some stocks. So I think, what's it called here? I was about to say JP Morgan. Not JP Morgan. very different from JP Morgan. GameStop, right? They reported earnings today. And like you guys know, I don't like looking at the earnings before making videos because I like doing the live reaction. Well, sometimes I do look at the earnings, but in this case, I didn't look at GameStop's earnings. Let's see what the heck they ended up doing and how the stock's reacting. So overall, it looks like we're down right now. The stock closed at 173.65, which it closed red on the day. It went down 2.3%, and now we're trading at 168. So we're actually down about $5-6 in the aftermarket hours right now. And by the looks of it, we're still holding the bottom of the uptrending channel here at about 168. 165. This might be a double bottom breakout spot, but it's just way too early to tell at this point. It seems like, actually, if I pull up the intraday, it seems like we did hit 160. Now we're rallying pretty aggressively off that low, which I think was the low from a couple of days ago. Yeah, look at that. We actually hit 160 about 2-3 trading days ago. So could this be a double bottom breakout? It could be, but again, it's just too early to tell. So let's see what they did. Live news tab. Let's see what they did. Where are you now? Come on. Oh, there we go. Q3 EPS came in at negative $1.39, which is down from negative 29 cents year over year. So EPS, they're bleeding money. Not surprised, to be honest. And sales came in at $1.3 billion, which beat the $1.19 billion estimated. Not too bad. You'd think GameStop is not making money on the top line. Well, they aren't making money on the bottom line, but you'd think GameStop, who the heck uses GameStop? Well, $1.3 billion is not that bad. I mean, they're still pulling in some revenue on the top line. So not too bad there. I'm not seeing anything on guidance. Let me see here. Am I missing something? Revenue's up 29% year over year. Not too bad. Inventory ramp, SEC subpoena. Or did they get subpoenaed? Am I missing something here? Let me know in the comments. But here it says it here. On August 25th, the SEC issued a subpoena calling for additional documents as a follow-up to the initial request. Yada yada yada. So that looks like it's old news. But overall, look. We're pretty oversold on the stock. It's towards the bottom of the channel. If we double bottom and break out at about 160, 170, there could be a move in the short term, maybe close to $200 per share, which is right by the moving averages. So watch out for GameStop, GME. Lululemon is another one I'm watching. We have talked about this in the past, but I'm really, really focusing on it tomorrow. Pretty much all day because they report earnings tomorrow. After market hours, and overall the chart looks very solid, even though it went down 2% today, and it's trading under the moving averages, which those two things are not that great, but the fact that we are holding the uptrend channel, that's great, and the fact that we're seeing a double bottom at about 420, 425, that's also great. So kind of like GameStop, right? We're seeing a double bottom, but we're not breaking out after the double bottom quite yet, which is why I want to see, how these earnings go. I want to give it some time. And at that point, I'm going to make a move on it, potentially. And, of course, like you guys know at this point, I'm not a big proponent of buying and holding through earnings, especially if it's a short-term trade. I don't like doing that. But listen, if they do well with earnings, guidance, revenue, EPS, all that good stuff, I'm going to be looking to hop in after earnings. That is if the chart still looks good like it does now. Let's say, for example, it collapses. We start taking out the lows from a couple weeks ago. Let's say we're under 380, 370. That's going to be a completely different story. But as long as we hold above 420, 430, earnings are good. We start moving up a little bit. That's going to be a sign for me, at least, to potentially get in. And as always, please, guys, please, I'm begging you, do your own research, do your own due diligence. Don't buy based on my videos or anybody's videos out there for that matter. You have to be able to do your own research, watch different videos, sure, listen to people's opinions, and then make your own opinion. Very important. So, yeah, Lulu, watch it. NEO is another one that I'm looking at here. We haven't talked about this stock in a while. It had a great day today. It went up almost 6%, up almost $2 per share, And NEO is one of those stocks I got very oversold during the sell-off that we saw recently. I mean, it got from 40 or went from $40 to about 29, so it lost about 20-30% in just a couple of trading days, which is insane. So it got extremely oversold. Like I said, we got towards the bottom of the channel here on the 4-hour chart, the downwards channel that we've been trading within since June, so about half a year at this point. And you guys are already seeing the relief rally is starting. Again, like I said, it went up 6% just today. So I think NEO does have more room left in the tank, probably from 35 where it is right now. I think it could touch 40 again, or at least 38, 39, right by the moving averages here on the 4-hour chart. So keep that in mind when it comes to NEO stock. It's looking pretty good. Li Auto, which is another Chinese car maker, car player, electric vehicles, whatever you want to call it. Li Auto went up 2%, and this chart admittedly looks a lot better than NEO's chart, like we've talked about in the past. Lee's been doing well in terms of the stock price. You guys can see it's been uptrending for a couple of months from 15 to 25. Now we just hit a higher low at about 28, so we've been making higher lows, but at the same time, in that same breath, guys, we've been getting rejected at 38, 35, $40 for multiple months, many times during those multiple months, right? We got hit back in July, we got hit back in August, back in October, and now just recently we hit $38, got rejected, went all the way to $28, and now we're kind of seeing buyers step in. We're getting a bounce back right by the uptrending trend line, which is great. And at this point, we're right under the moving averages. So I'm going to set my alert at 32.25. Mark is at or above. If Li Auto, mark my words, guys, if this stock breaks out above 32, close to 33, this is probably going to fill the gap up. And now that I'm looking at this, I almost forgot to mention, this is looking like an ascending triangle. Again, higher lows have been made, but we've been struggling at 35 to $40. So I think if we fill the gap to 38, we break that, there could easily be a leg up coming. So keep your eyes on Li Auto. Skyworks Solutions is another one, and this pattern looks pretty similar to NEO's, right? It's in a downwards channel. It's been getting beat up for months, and we got very oversold recently, and we saw a bullish divergence, still seeing a bullish divergence, and now we're right by a critical moving average, the 180 moving average on the 4-hour chart at about $160, where I think if we break that point, we're probably going to be going mid-high 160s, dare I say, 170s, right? So I'm going to put my alert at $161 per share for Skyworks. And mind you guys, this point, the 180 moving average has been resistance since the summertime, late August. So keep that in mind. If we get rejected here, this could easily be the rally that we saw, could easily be a bull trap. But the second we break 161 into the mid 160s, I think momentum's going to kick in to the point where 170, 175, 180, it's really not too far-fetched. So Skyworks Solutions, very strong stock here in my personal opinion. It's looking good. It's starting to gain some momentum. Let's see if it could continue that. And I got some questions about PayPal. Stas, what are your thoughts on PayPal, this, that, the third? Well, I've covered this a lot. I don't want to just beat a dead horse on PayPal, but I'm bullish. I'm bullish PayPal. This is a stock that I've owned for a couple of years at this point. I forget when I initially bought it, but what I can tell you for sure is the price that I initially started buying it. I forget the date. I don't have the date for you guys. I'm sorry about that. But I started buying PayPal. I guess if we look at the chart, maybe I could guess where I started buying it in terms of the time period. But I started buying PayPal when it was under $100 a share. I think I started buying it at like $80, $90. So I'm assuming it was late 2018, something like that. Maybe even before that. But overall, that's where I started buying it, and I averaged up on this. I think my average now is like 170 or 180 or something like that. So I literally was buying it on the way up. I was rewarding my winners. I'm not the type of guy that, if a stock goes up 10%, I sell it. That's not me. If I like a stock long term, it does very well, that's great. I'm going to hold on to it. I'm not just going to cut it loose because it's doing very well. And when it goes down, in that same breath, I'm going to be buying more of it, and now we're collapsing. It went from 310 down to about 175-ish dollars, meaning it was down about 40% at one point. And I was buying it. I bought it recently. I think my most recent PayPal purchase was around 180, 185, something like that recently. And you guys in my Patreon know that. You get all my moves. And again, check out the Patreon down below if you want to. If you're interested, give it a shot. Why not? Let me know if you have any questions about it. So needless to say, I'm bullish on PayPal, guys. Whenever a blue chip company, and yes, I think PayPal is a blue chip stock, blue chip company, whenever blue chip stocks that I own, that I really like and believe in, go down 20+%, more times than not, I'm buying that stock. Unless it's just extremely overvalued, that even a 20% drop it's still overvalued after that, if that makes any sense, right? Which in this case, I don't think PayPal is an extreme bargain per se, but I don't think it's ridiculously lofty either at these levels. I kind of think it's hovering between a little bit above fair value and maybe, I don't know. But what I do know is I'm buying PayPal here. I like it. And the one thing that is worth mentioning as well is the technicals are not that great. We're still downtrending, which, to be honest, I could care less because it's a long-term investment. So bring on the red, bring on the downtrend. I would want it to go lower because I'll just be buying more of it. So that's kind of a little, my little 2 cents on PayPal. I'm just buying the dip, guys. If you have a certain time period where you want to get out in a month, I can't help you with that. I can't help you in terms of PayPal because it's downtrending. Nobody knows when the downtrend is going to stop. If you want to hop in as a swing, I'd wait for the downtrend to stop, which we're not there yet. But again, as a long-term play, bring it on. Buy the dip, in my opinion, and if you have a couple years, you're probably going to be happy with it. Who knows? I could be wrong, but that's just where I'm putting my money. I'm putting my money where my mouth is, right? So keep your eyes on PayPal, PYPL. And I also got a question about Target. I think Target just reported earnings recently along with Home Depot, Walmart, Lowe's, and a lot of those companies, they did pretty well. You guys can see Target. I think it hit an all-time high right after their earnings report. We hit 274. Now we're down to about 240, which I did mention around that earnings report that I was looking for Target to sell off a bit. Now we're finally getting that sell-off. We're now down about 12-ish% roughly from that all-time high. So we're in correction territory. And like PayPal, I consider Target a blue chip stock, right? So at this point, I don't own Target, but if it does dip down 20%, it would be one that I would consider. But then again, maybe this is one of those that even if it fell 20%, like I mentioned with PayPal, it might still not be a buy. This might need to come down 30, 40%, to be honest. I don't want to spook any of you guys out there. But for me, at least, to initiate a position, I would want it down a little bit more. But overall, if we're looking at the technicals right now, let's say we want to swing trade it, whatever, do our thing on the trading side. This is holding, as of now, an uptrend, even though we're under both moving averages and we're seeing a death cross, which is a bit worrisome, admittedly. But the fact that we are holding an uptrend as of now at about 238, 240, the previous low was 225, that's a good sign. So I would want to see a break above 245, right? If we break 245 on Target in the short term, we could potentially make a trade. It might fill the gap back to 260, 270, 275. That is the window that we can make money in. But again, it needs to break those moving averages, which again is why I have my alert at 245. So overall, guys, that's pretty much it. Those are some stocks I'm looking at: GameStop, Lulu, Neo, Lee. What's the other one? Skyworks, PayPal, Target. So let me know your thoughts. Drop me a comment. I'd love to know your thoughts. Hit the like button, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Check out my Patreon if you guys want all my buys, sells, call outs, morning update videos, plus more. That's linked down below, or go to StockSurfest.com/Patreon. Make sure to also get your 2 stocks from Webull up to $16 $1,500. All you have to do is deposit $100, and you guys could also get $50 free from M1 Finance. All of that is linked down below. I'll catch you guys in the next video, which I made two earlier, one about the Apple augmented reality goggles, glasses, whatever you want to call them. Check that out. Or you can look at a video I also made earlier going over 3 oversold stocks to look at. Both of those, I'll pop them up here. Pick one. I'll see you there. Thanks for watching. As always, keep crushing the markets. Stay safe out there. Peace out.